What is up, guys? Godswilla, we're back again with a video. Today, we're doing another tier list. I've been doing a lot of tier lists recently, and we're keeping it up with the TCM tier list. This time, we're doing one about the game. This is a family tier list, and this is a tier list based on if they're balanced, pretty good, pretty solid, pretty mid, really bad, and broken in a bad way. Now, broken in a bad way, I have to clarify what that means. Because broken in a bad way can mean a lot of different things. Broken in a bad way could mean that it's unplayable and it's bad. But the way I'm using it as broken in a bad way, where it's too overpowered, where victims can't really counter this said family member. We're gonna get to whatever family member that is. If you guys know, you guys would know if you play TCM. So yeah, let's get this started. Leatherface. Leatherface is probably the most balanced character in the game. I there's not really an issue with him. He does pretty much what he should. His whole thing is the chainsaw, and he's a big brute. That's really all it is to him. He does so much damage, but like he's fast, but like it there's just that balance to him that like if you're a strategic victim, you could easily get away from Big Bubba. So Leatherface is balanced. Like people are just cook. Now if we're talking launch, he would be broken in a bad way because he was insane at launch back in 2023, almost 2 years ago. Um, but Cook is still pretty good. He is still pretty good in the year 2025. He's the support. Um, you can run a damage build on him, but it's not really the meta. Security pins serrated and scout is pretty much the meta, is what you want to use on him. Because if you're not doing that, you would probably do a blood build, and with how Bones is, you really don't need to use a blood build. So yeah. Now, we move on to Hitchhiker. Now, Hitchhiker was amazing. He was like my main. I used to say a character I played the most back when the game was at its peak was Hitchhiker. When you had that fired up scout wireframe combo that victims complained was too overpowered. I mean, like, if y'all can have 3 charges of choose flight, come on, bro. I like. I agree that maybe no, I can't agree because I felt it keeps you on your toes. It's not like, oh, you use the gap, it's easy escape, because he can go through the gap just as fast. Plus, his traps are easily avoidable. Well, unless you're jumping out of the window on Family House, and that's why if you know how to place traps and strategically place them to where they can't avoid them, that isn't just overpowered. That's you using it to its strengths. Because the traps do have weaknesses. If you just put them at an objective, for instance, you put it at defuse, it could easily get disabled. So Hitchhiker is pretty balanced. I am learning that Scout. I mean, does something for him, but I'm doing the wired frame fired up combo recently. I switched it up. I'm liking that better. Um Hitchhiker is definitely gonna go into pretty balanced. He's right there with Leather Boy. He's pretty balanced. Um when he had fired up, scout, and wireframe at the same time, I wouldn't necessarily say he was broken in a bad way. It's just like the point of him is to chase victims. And if you can't chase victims, then what are you doing? Alright. No matter how high or how low I'm gonna put this man, it's gonna be controversial. He is the most controversial person in this game, other than maybe Danny on the victim side. What can I say about Johnny? Johnny, I like playing as Johnny. I do. I really do. But people complain and complain about his damage and how he can swing 85 times because he can put a lot of strength and a lot of endurance into his build. But you guys have to understand, you take away Johnny's lunge, what does he have? A piss poor ability that doesn't do jack diggle dick. You have a footprint ability where you can track victims. And you can't even track them. Like, why not just have Julie be the only counter to that, to where her ultimate escape is the only way to counter it? Why have a footprint ability that you can't really use? Because, oh, they move a certain way. You can't track them anymore. No, that's nonsense. That is absolute nonsense. I'm sorry. It just is. Like, how, just because you slowly move and crouch, it doesn't take away the fact that your footprints were still there. Logically speaking, Johnny would be able to track that shit if he has a tracking ability. But no. All he has is the lunge. That's all it is. That's all he fucking has. And victims today, victim mains complain. Oh, he's too overpowered. He's too overpowered. Dude. Walking in a straight line isn't always going to be good. You gotta mix it up. You can't just walk in a straight line the whole time. You just can't. So, Johnny has had many highs and many lows. I mean, he has his own game mode, Rush Week, which there's no reason to replay it ever. Ever. There's no progression system. There's no perks. There's no nothing. It's just you get in the game and that's it. Why would you continue playing? Why? Why would you continue playing other than the first week? I played it like 5 times and never touched it again. Never touched it again. Now, with that being said, where do I place Johnny on this list? Even with everything that I've mentioned, he's just solid. That's really it. I really don't know what else to say about Mans. Other than I like him, but he's not balanced per se. He's just there. The only thing he has is the lunge. So, we're going to move on to Sissy, the herbalist herself. Now, Sissy, I am not going to cap with you. is my least played family member. Um, there's nothing to her that's like, oh my god, I need the player. Even when she gets a new cosmetic, it's literally just a different. It's literally the same dress, different pattern. That's all it is. That's all it will ever be. All it is. I I I never understood the appeal to play Sissy. She has so low savagery. You have to waste basically most of your skill points on savagery. It, ugh. It's you either do a chase build or a blood build on Sissy. And you can pretty much have what you could with Hitchhiker, the fired up wireframe scout combo on her. Which I guess is okay on her, but like she's not Hitchhiker. She's not as good as Hitchhiker. Um but is Sissy a bad character to play? No. I mean, she does have her uses. The efficient herbalist can come in clutch if you want to poison all the big pots, but then again, you're just wasting time going up to the pots, poisoning them. You have to get the powder if the perk doesn't work. So, yeah, poisoning the big pots is like if you want to play the long game. It is very useful that if you poison the bottle, it doesn't give them the heal. So using on the big pots is really strategic. But it really does waste your time. So yeah, that that's so. With that being said, Sissy is definitely gonna go into pretty mid. Um, we're gonna move on to Nancy, and Nancy is I'm not gonna lie either. I play her more than Sissy. There's more of an appeal to play with her. You would only play Nancy if you're not no in solo queue. No, I'd rather jump out a window, literally jump out a window. Solo queue, it's not. It's no. When you have a coordinated team with friends, yeah, she has the see with the see the victim. Um, she also has her barbed wire traps. I mean, like they're pretty good. She definitely needs a rework slash buff for her to be in the pretty solid and above tier. Because pretty mid and below are characters I barely play. I ain't gonna lie. Um, so Nancy goes right there with Sissy and just pretty mid. And we have Hands. He is broken in a bad way. You see, you can't have him without Danny, and Danny without Hands. But the thing is, both of their abilities are broken. With Danny, you get enough study points and you can instantly tamper, when that shouldn't how it should be. And with Hands, it's one tap a square and you're Gucci. Now, I'm gonna propose an idea for Danny and Hands. What if, instead of study points for Danny, it depends on your proficiency how fast you can tamper? And like the mini game is the same as the lock picking mini game, except like it's the same mini game, but like it's basically if you're unlocking a door, it's that same amount of proficiency as you need. I feel that would be okay. And for Hands, hear me out, guys. Hear me out. What if it's like the generator where you have to do it with precision and do it correctly on time, and you get the rhythm down and you perfect it and you can easily rip stall. But if you don't have that rhythm down, there's a penalty for if you mess up. Maybe that could cook. But right at this moment, Hands is broken in a bad, bad way. I'm doing a victim tier list later on, and it's going to be the same thing here. We all know where Danny's going. Bones, 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 bones. His gore bombs, I don't see in any world you don't run a blood build on Mr. Bones. Because you get a free blood vial. All they have to do is make the bomb go off. The bomb doesn't even have to hurt them. You make the bomb go off, that's it. You get the free blood vial. And if you put 2 and they both go off, that's 2 free blood vials. And what's the max blood? 182. So that's level 3.5 to level 4 right there. If not level 5. That is kind of broken. How I would so obviously this is going broken in a bad way. So what would I change about Bones? The free blood vial, let's cut that in half, right? Let's have it to where you have to get both of your spark plugs to get the full blood. So you get half blood each spark plug. I feel that'll be a little bit more fair. I feel that would cook. And yeah, this is my tier list. This is my family tier list for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, from if they're pretty balanced or pretty broken. And yeah, I feel there shouldn't be any surprises where Hands and Bones are. And this is coming from a guy that barely touches victim. And yeah, that's the video, guys. I'll see you guys in the victim tier list.